Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here, and it's April 3rd, day, I don't know what day, day 16 of social separation, anxiety,
I thought
quarantine,
it was, I thought it was day 30.
Yeah.
Is day 30?
I'm going crazy.
Day 50?
I know we all are. I'm not. I don't mean to whine. Everybody's in the same boat, and I hope you guys are keeping yourself sane. I hope you're keeping yourself safe. Hoping you're staying healthy. We've had a little bit of illness come through our family. We're waiting to hear back what the results were. My father got tested, but it's backed up here in Florida, so it takes about 11 to 12 days for the results to come back, and so we're still waiting. But like I said, I'm good, and Vedanta, she was a little bit sick, but the kids are good. She's well now. I haven't felt anything other than being a little tired, but that just could be just being cooped up all the time. But we're gonna paint today, so obviously I'm sitting at a different desk, and we're gonna do some watercolor painting. And I figured I'd just change it up for you guys. The other thing, too, I want to tell you guys that, Nick and I have been talking a lot, and we really want to do our part and make sure that everyone has access to everything we have on the site, especially since you're going to be stuck at home. And so we've dropped so many things down to just $1. It was, one or two things, but now we've dropped. Just go to the website. Just go to creatureartteacher.com, and you'll see there's tons of stuff that are dropped down to $1. There's stuff that are half price. There's all kinds of stuff, and I figure if I can get everything out to you guys and get it spread around the world, it's going to help everybody, and it'll help us too. Who knows when we eventually get out of this mess, which we will, we absolutely will. And we'll all be stronger and wiser for it. Then we can get back on track, and who knows how we'll be doing then. But in the meantime, I want you guys to get educated. Use this time, while you're at home to do that. And a lot of people are taking us up on it. So people are downloading a lot of courses. So anyway, so get out there and start learning and put some beauty back in the world. It's creatureartteacher.com, and we've got all kinds of stuff over there. And as usual, I've got Dustin here with me.
Hi, everybody.
There he is.
How's it going?
And I've got Nick over in Sarasota, and he's going to be answering questions. I've got a photograph up here. Actually, I wonder if you can grab that. Can you grab it really quick and just bring it over to the screen?
If I can see the screen.
There it is. Yeah, that's it right there. Grab that and just drag it over. And that's a photograph that Dustin took back at Big Cat Habitat in Sarasota, Florida.
How do I zoom in on it?
That's all right. Just Control plus.
Control plus.
Or something like that. There you go.
Plus, there we go.
Yeah. So there's this cat. I really like this photograph, and I love the lighting in it. And I thought, it might be kind of fun to do a watercolor, and do it kind of quick. I want to do it fast and loose, and see how it comes out. And so I've got my palette and everything set up, and my paint's all shit up, and we're all ready to go. And thank you, Dustin.
Welcome.
The other thing I want to mention, I forgot to mention. Nick is saying the stream is very choppy. The video is very choppy. What's our bit rate?
Our bit rate is the same. Everything's acting fine.
Audio is fine.
The video is just.
We're going to be going to the down shooter. That might help. So, I can see it's pretty choppy on. Yeah. If you look at your screen.
Yeah, I see it. That's just overlap.
Yeah. So, did you switch it back? So anyway, we're going to go down to the down shooter here, and that might take some of the choppiness out of it. But I do want to mention really quick, if you want to go to the live event slide, Dustin. On April 11th, we are going to be doing a live event right here, and I'm going to be doing an introduction to animation where I'm going to be teaching you guys the very basics. I'm going to talk about the bouncing ball, where I'm going to teach you timing and squash and stretch and all that kind of stuff. Weight. And then we're going to go to the flour sack test, which is where you kind of take all that stuff that I taught you in the bouncing ball, then you add character to it. You add posing. Very simple posing. It's what we do with the flour sack. And then after that, we're going to be doing some dialogue. I'm going to teach you how to do dialogue. Everyone thinks it's a big mystery, or at least a lot of people, a lot of young animators that I've met that are just learning, find it very fascinating. And so, I love doing dialogue. There's a lot of fun things you can do with it. So we're going to be doing that on April 11th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so and it's only $5. Normally we charge about 50 or $100, but this time, sorry, I just ate a bagel. It's kind of coming back. This time we want more people to show up. We know people are going to be stuck at home. We know parents have young kids that maybe they can sit and watch some animation for a little while. So and the class will be perfect for that. As a matter of fact, I really recommend picking up some notepads if you can, pads that you can flip. You can make little flip books out of, and you can even get 4x5 or 5x7 note cards, like a pack of them, and then put an alligator clip on them, and that way you can flip them, and it's perfect for kids to make flip books, and I'll teach them how to make a flip book while we're doing this as well. Okay, so anyway, that's going to be April 11th for 6 hours. All right, so let's do that. Hopefully, are we still choppy?
Yeah, it's still choppy. I don't know what's going on.
Wow. I think I don't know if it's. You know what? It might be. Is it our internet? Do you think?
It might be the internet.
Hey.
I mean, if anything, we might just restart the stream. Just go at a slightly lower.
Well, no, I think it might. Are you guys? Hey, Vedanta, we're getting real choppy internet in here. Okay. Can you see if it's being used anywhere else? Yep. Thanks. So, anyway, let's just get into drawing. I'm going to get right into it, and if like I said, I'm hoping the down shooter, because when it goes to down shooter, the choppiness will go away. All right, clean my glasses. I got a pencil sharpener ready to go. I'll be using a hair dryer, by the way, too, so that's going to be rather loud at some point. And draw this guy nice and big. You're going to have to lift it first for a little bit.
And it's still chopping up.
Well, what do you think, Nick? Is it worth? Should we start the video over? This guy was nice. He was a big cat. Well, obviously he's a big cat. It's a tiger, but he was big for a tiger. So I'm just drawing very loosely. Just hang on loosely. Well, Molly Hatchet. I think that was Molly Hatchet. Or 38 Special. That was 38 Special. What's that?
Gabby's on here, and she's asking, is Marshall okay? How is he?
Marshall's good. Marshall's good. You can't take that guy down. He's actually over everything. We're just waiting to hear back of what he had. We're kind of hoping he had it so that it's kind of run its course through the house, and he's not. He won't be contagious anymore. So I'm just very, very quickly going through and drawing this guy in. I want to make sure that this is this part is it's kind of imperative right here to make sure I get this right, because there's a lot of foreshortening in the muzzle, and I want to make sure that it's right. I don't want to draw it too quickly. There we go. There we go. Blow the man down. There we go. I watched that on. We watched that in a movie called "Blow the Man Down" on Netflix the other night. Kind of a low-budget murder mystery. Happens in Maine. It's pretty good. If you're looking for something.
Down.
Blow the man down. Hey, Aaron. Oh, that's an old note. You got a note up there from last week, Nick. There we go.
S. Rajah says, "Hi, Aaron. Happy to see you working in watercolor. Love this traditional medium."
Why, thank you. I do too. I love watercolor.
Korea says, "I will draw with you right now, and right now what you are drawing, and I will send it to you. I hope you see it."
I gotta do this. There we go. That's better.
You alright?
Yeah, my glasses are good for holding, the paper up close, but they're no good for looking up at the computer screen, monitor. I'll try to go really quick here. So our watercolor class that we had a few weeks ago over in Sarasota, this is one of the places we went to, and Dustin got some really nice big cat shots while we were there. Whilst we were there.
Frank J. Ferrer is asking, Aaron, do you use graphite pencils?
Yes, I'm using graphite right now.
And Erica says, I watched that the other day as well. What we were talking about earlier.
Oh, the Blow the Man Down?
Yeesh.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad flick. It was all right. It wasn't as I thought it was going to be a lot darker. I guess it was kind of dark, but it wasn't as dark as I thought it would be.
And Kathleen says, grateful for this, Aaron. I will attempt. Loved the plein air class last month.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you're back. Which one was it? Who was it?
Kathleen?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Kathleen. So once again, I'm just very quickly just throwing this together. YouTube question: are tubes of watercolor better than blocks of dry watercolor? Are they both the same? Well, no, they're not really. Yes, they are basically the same. The blocks are basically the dried water. It's just pigment. Now, one is kind of probably a little more portable. For doing field sketching, it might be a little easier for the cakes. We call them cakes, the hard blocks. And but the tubes, I use tubes out in the field, and for me, the tube watercolor, it's wet right off the bat. The pigment is much stronger. You don't have to keep working. With a block, you have to with the cakes, you have to work it in order to get a lot of pigment loaded on your brush. But where in the case of tubes, you don't have to do that as hard.
Arturo Garcia is asking, have you seen Roar, the movie starred by Noah Marshall, that had 150 lions, tigers, leopards, cougars, and even a few ligers and tigons?
No. I figured I'd do the tiger today because everyone's all into Joe Exotic.
Speaking of which, Eric...
Tiger King.
Eric Nito asks, hey Aaron and Dustin, haven't been on the live stream in a bit, and since you're doing a tiger, what are your thoughts on the Tiger King doc?
I couldn't stop. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. Man, what a bizarre group of people. And you know, it's funny as I was watching it because it starts in Oklahoma, or is it, yeah, Oklahoma, I think it was. And I was like, okay, at some point this has got to end up in Florida. Yep, sure enough, he goes to Florida. Did you watch any of it, Dustin?
I have not.
It's just a trend. It showcases the worst of humanity.
And that's why I'm not really that interested.
Yeah, it's just, ugh.
And Bryson Riley says, I tuned in as you were wrapping up, talking about it, but where can you pay for the animation stream again? Over at creatureartteacher.com/live.
Oh, for the
live stream?
For the live stream? Yeah, that's creatureartteacher.com/live. So here I want to make sure that I've got all the foreshortening right. So you can see very quickly we got this cat drawn in here. Here.
Matt says, howdy, Dustin and Aaron. Is this painting in honor of watching Tiger King? And will you paint in Dustin off the side as that mullet guy?
No. And no.
No and no.
But the first thing I'm going to do is I just want to get the oranges, and I got it drawn. That's good enough for now. And you're going to see I'm going to start with some bigger brushes. And one thing I'm going to do, I got my kneaded eraser. How's the choppiness?
It's still choppy. I just don't know what's causing it.
What kind of paper are you using? P.S. Keep up the good work. I am using, I'll show you. Let me get this. I'm trying to get my kneaded eraser all kind of warmed up. I just want to get some of the excess graphite off the paper. And the way that I do that is I just kind of roll this up into a cylinder, like so. Just kind of roll it. Roll in the hay. And it just takes up some of the excess graphite.
What time do we do the live streams on Tuesdays and Fridays?
On Tuesday, so this is Arch's watercolor, and this is cold press. All right, and this one happens to be 12 by 16 inch. Right there. You can answer that one, Dustin.
On Tuesdays, we start at 9 a.m. and Friday we start at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in both. Have you drawn any Australian wildlife?
When we did the benefit for Australia, we did a little bit of that during the fires. Back during the last major disaster. Okay, so just going to look around on here, and I want to see where you can switch cameras back and forth, Dustin. If it gets boring, like I'm not working in here, you can switch over to that camera.
Yeah, which I just did.
So I'm trying to load up my brush a little bit, and I'm going to use a 3/4 inch flat, and I'm just going to come in very quickly. I don't want to get all noodly. And when I say noodly, what I mean by noodly is I'm just going to go kind of loose and quick with it.
Have you tried the Faber-Castell graphite aquarelle watercolor pencils?
No.
Aquarelle.
So important to keep track of what needs to stay white when you do this, because this is I'm doing transparent watercolor, which means if I want white, it's the paper.
Have you seen Frozen 2, and what are your thoughts about it?
No, I haven't seen Frozen 2.
Yeah, I saw Frozen 2, but the first one was definitely better. Frozen 2 is still good, but it just they added so many more songs. Like
Too many?
Yeah. Almost like every 10-15 minutes is a song.
Yeah. Once they hit those musicals, they start. I gotta get my paper towels off. Where we go? Oh, there we go.
You alright?
Yep.
You good?
I'm trying to work fast, and in doing so, I'm kind of slopping around. So what I want is I want to get this orange down really quickly.
Matt Mance is asking, is there a natural history museum in Florida you could recommend?
You know what? I don't know of any natural history museums. Not as far like natural history museum. I know of some decent museums, but I don't. You know, that's a good one because I think Florida is kind of sadly lacking in that area. There might be something in Tampa, but I don't know. Nick might know.
Have you ever sculpted with epoxy putty?
No. I've never, I sculpted a bit when I was in college, and I love it. I've never gone back to it. But we do have a good friend, Tony Cipriano, that's going to be doing some sculpting for everybody. There we go. He did a lot of our maquettes at Disney, and we've got him lined up to do possibly some courses for us on sculpting. Digital, traditional, all kinds of cool stuff. So I want you to see how loose I'm being, and I'm letting the watercolor really kind of be watercolor. I'm letting it do its thing.
Have you ever been to any chimp sanctuaries in Florida?
There's one that I went to down near Fort Pierce. Yes, I did. I got to load this up with more pigment.
And Leandro Palombo says, "What up, guys? Having a cup of coffee and some cookies. Want some?" We would love some if you can ship some over.
See, this guy, he's kind of backlit a little bit. So I want to kind of get that feel. So I'm trying to be really careful about where I paint.
And Julie's asking, who cut your hair?
Oh, that's right. You guys haven't seen me since I cut my hair. I did a live stream on Monday or Tuesday. No, we got bored over the weekend.
Yeah.
So Dustin cut his hair and I cut mine.
Yeah, I cut mine all by myself.
All by himself.
All by myself.
So I'm just laying in, doing it all with flats. I love working with flats.
And Kirk Michael's asking if we're keeping our buzz cuts.
I am for now. Man, it's been warm here, like really warm.
I think I'll have this short hair try.
You look pretty good, Dustin.
Thank you. You're too kind.
So there we go.
Do you ever mask the mediums to keep the whites?
I do. Sometimes I do, but I'm going to try to do it really traditional today and not do that. Nick says there is one in Gainesville, but I've not. But oh yeah, the Natural History Museum. I haven't been there either. YouTube question: is that just orange watercolor, tinted red, orange, etc.? This is cadmium orange, tinted with a little bit of alizarin crimson.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
And
We'll let this dry. Hold on, I have to go. We got to go. Hair dryer real quick.
uh-oh. Plug your ears, folks. How you doing over there?
There we go. Simple, huh?
Nice and simple.
So now I'm going to jump over to some blue. The shadows in there are kind of cool. They're nice and cool. They've got a little bit of warmth down below where it's shining back some color there. I'll hit that. But I want to get maybe a little bit of cobalt.
How did you get to work for Disney? Did you send them your portfolio or show up over there?
I sent my portfolio. When I was in college, this is in 1987, I decided I needed to find a job. I'm going to put a little cerulean in there too. And so and Disney was starting to look, they were doing internships and looking for students to that didn't necessarily know animation, but were could draw well, and I kind of fit that bill. And so throw a little bit of alizarin in there. I kind of fit that bill, and so I submitted a portfolio, and bam, I got accepted into the internship program, and the rest was history. I did my internship and was really lucky. Sorry, I'm concentrating. And I managed to get hired at the end of my internship, and it was a great experience, and that's where I learned animation.
Robin Vance asking, Aaron Blaise, can you explain again why you prefer tube watercolors over pan watercolors? My connection timed out when you were explaining before.
Oh, it's just tubes. There's more pigment. You don't have to work it as long. You can get to the pigment much quicker and more concentrated, more easily.
Caitlin Rajah says, finally figured out how to get your stream on the family TV. My brother Shane is watching your show for the first time with me.
Oh, that's cool. Well, thank you.
We're on the big screen.
Yeah. I like that. So now the shadow area gets a little warmer down in here, so I'm using warmer colors. Down in there. Right there. And get a little bit more. I want to get more blue over here.
Turo is asking, would you recommend practicing with your watercolor brushes in Photoshop before jumping in with real watercolors to get a feel for them?
No. Because it's a completely different, even though they're called watercolor brushes in Photoshop, it's a completely different thing altogether. So they're really completely different from each other. So if you want to do watercolor traditionally, then just jump over and start doing it traditionally.
And do you still have any of your work from the portfolio you sent to Disney? If so, could we see some?
I do, and no, not right now. I'll do it next time because I've got all this going right now.
Is this your brush water?
Yes. Why?
Because I was thinking of tilting this down, so because some people are asking to see how you're mixing the paints.
Oh. Yeah, it'd be better to do that.
But your cup is in the way, and
oh, you can move the cup over here if you need to. Just don't spill it.
Oh God, I spilled it. Oh no. Oh, the humanity. Alright. I rewatched The Lion King.
That's awesome.
What was behind the decision to make Lion's eyes so yellow?
I don't know. I wasn't in on that part of it. Lion's eyes are yellow.
What brand of watercolors would you recommend? And thanks for the streaming.
Winsor Newton.
Winsor Newton.
That's what I use. Winsor Newton watercolor.
Do you also feel so tired and sluggish after a long drawing, painting session, or is it just me?
No, you're using your brain a lot, while you're doing that. And so, yeah, it gets tough. So you notice I'm not scrubbing a lot. I'm just letting it kind of bleed together. If you do a lot of scrubbing of the pigment, especially complementary pigments like we have going here, then you're going to end up creating a lot of mud.
Now, do you paint or do you wet the paper before you paint?
Sometimes, not in this case. I'm not. I'm painting directly. Painting much more direct, and here I'm using a much bigger brush.
If you use more expensive watercolor, is the quality that much better?
Yes, it really is. You definitely get what you pay for. That's the one thing you don't scrimp on in use decent brushes. I don't think you need to, you don't necessarily need to buy $300 sable brushes, but use decent brushes and don't scrimp on your materials. Good paper, good paint. I mean, race car driver drives the best car, right? That's how you should think about your paints.
Can you show us the type of paper you're using?
Not right now. I will later, because I showed it earlier. You probably came in a little bit late. So I got to let this dry, and then we're going to work our way in. Actually, I don't have to let this dry. I can work up here.
Work up here. You make such smooth lines. What's your secret? Paper, good brush, or master skills?
Yes, yes, and yes. It takes practice. And I use good materials. I use a lot of flat brushes.
Do you have any tips on how to keep lineless works crisp and not muddied?
Yeah,
I've always had a tough time properly defining each part of an art piece, keeping depth and making sure things don't mesh into each other.
it's really don't keep scrubbing over it. You notice how I'm just being very direct and quick. You don't want to keep scrubbing over it. And you can pull up areas like I just did there. Then I want that to be a little warmer.
You mentioned once that you helped with a little bit of adult Nala and young Simba in Lion King after you finished young Nala. Do you remember what specific shots you helped with?
They were small. It was like during the climax in the fight. They were small shots. So what I'm doing here is I'm just very quickly just kind of roughing in some of these areas that are like around the mouth and all that. That's going to go really dark. So like in here. So I'm not too worried about that right now.
Aaron, I understand for character design folio, you're not supposed to render works. How do you present your folio? Is just the line work?
Yes, just line work. If you do, you can also do some color. It's a little different now, with digital work than what was when I was came into the industry. I got to do this really quick.
What? I can't hear you.
But yeah, I mean, you don't have to get super. You don't have to worry about it. If you want to put some rendered stuff in there, put rendered. It's okay. What happens if you accidentally break the paper or scraping it, causing it too thin? Do you just ignore that and start a new one? Yes. I don't usually have that problem, but yes. YouTube comment, I just wanted to tell you thank you so much for offering discounted prices on your classes. This has given me an opportunity to work during this time and learning various techniques. Well, I am very happy about that.
Hi guys. I've been going well with Dustin's photographs of a crane, I believe. Great photos, by the way. Thank you. And I can't get shadow and lighting photorealistic. Is it possible that I'm painting too detailed instead of looking for the big shapes? Thanks,
Yes.
You're awesome.
Yes, that is probably the issue. So try to look at those big shapes. That's a big deal.
Thanks for doing these videos. Do you ever use watercolor pencils over watercolors?
No, I've never used watercolor pencils. So you'll see their teeth are pretty yellow. This is going to be a really good lesson in. You'll see how dark and yellow these teeth look. By the time we're done, we're going to have this all painted in black, and those teeth will look nice and light. They'll lighten right up. Here we go again. Sorry.
Here we go again.
It's imperative if you're doing studio watercolor work, you definitely want to have a hair dryer. Otherwise, just sitting there waiting for something to dry is the pits. Son, the pits.
The pitch. The pitch. Did I already ask the plan of attack question?
I don't know.
Did you have a plan of attack on this before, or
Oh yeah.
Before you start, or are you just going with the flow?
Oh no, there's always a plan of attack. You'll notice I'm starting with the light colors. You start light, work dark. That's always my plan of attack. And then you'll start working towards the details too. So it's coming along. I'm very happy. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I'm gonna get some nice rich.
How come the yellow and blues aren't making the cat look green?
Because I'm glazing over them. Meaning, there we go. I'm not mixing the pigment. I'm mixing, so you're able to see through each layer, and so you kind of see the pigment separated. It's a kind of cool. It's a cool thing that watercolor does when you glaze it like this.
Aaron, could you show us the reference?
Oh, there you go, Dustin. Show them the reference.
Minimize the browser so there's no overlapping. And help me out here.
Hold on, don't take it yet.
Let me know when.
I'm going to. All right, go ahead. Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, this here is the reference photo. A photo that I took at the big cat habitat during the Sarasota workshop. And that was a really fun day. Very, very fun day. Don't you agree, Falda?
Yes, it was awesome.
Right there?
Yeah.
Good.
It's a very farty chair you're in there.
It is. It's the chair that you always sit in. Why is this not coming?
There we go.
There we go. Whoops. There. Hey Nick, what's up? Nick tried to call.
Let's call him back. Hey, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Nick. So what I want to do now is I'm going to get in here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
where's my paintbrushes? Can you grab my brushes out of there, Dustin? Right there. Right. Look where I'm pointing. Right there.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. So I keep all my brushes in here. This is a good one. I've always come back to this one. I might use even bigger one. Do I prefer natural hair or synthetic watercolor brushes? I prefer natural hair, but I don't like to use them. I don't like to pay for them. And I was talking earlier about using quality products, and I'm a big believer in that. But I do think that you can get really good synthetic brushes. So So a lot of what I'm using now are synthetics.
Kirk Michael says, "Hey, I must say, your dad and Super V did a great job on the decking. Any chance I could do mine?"
It was fun. So here I'm using a little bit of ochre mixed with some of that blue, and you'll see it gives a little bit of a greenish kind of tint. And I'm painting all kind of the negative spaces around here. And I'm using a very big, you can see how big this brush is, you know? So, you know, you don't have to get super detaily. You can, oops, there we go. There we go. I'm trying to keep it all very kind of loose. I've still got to get his chin in, but I want to make sure I've got some of these other areas kind of painted before I do that.
Your paper does not wait for the water? I need to fix mine on all sides with tape until it is dry and relaxes back to its normal flat shape.
No, I'm using a block. I'm using a watercolor block, so it's sealed all the way around the edge. There. See, now I'm getting into some of the shadows that are a little harder, a little deeper. And you see how I can use this big brush
I know your preference is drawing animals, but your landscapes are equally amazing. What is your approach to landscapes for composition?
I always look for the abstract, and it's the same thing I do with my animal paintings. I look for the abstract design. And then go from there. Yeah, I love getting loose and, working this. It's almost like calligraphy, Japanese calligraphy, you know. Cool. I like it.
Beauty.
Is it better to use watercolors on a canvas or paper? Always better on paper. Always, depending obviously for the effect, but most people, you want that on paper. When you say glaze, do you mean to apply a small amount and brush lightly? When I'm talking about glazing, I'm talking about putting down a small amount, yes, and letting it dry, and then putting another small amount over the top of that, kind of in the way that I've done the blues over the oranges. And then by doing that, you're able to build up color without muddying the color.
Can you do more watercolor paintings in the next live streams? That would be awesome.
Sure. We'll do more in the future.
In the future?
In the future.
In the futore? And what kind of watercolors are you using, and where do you get them?
Winsor Newton. I get them through Blick. As a matter of fact, I just ordered a whole bunch more through Blick. So if you see what I'm doing, I'm drawing, I'm taking the pigment out of my and the water out of my brush, putting it into my paper towel, and then I'm able to come in and kind of pull areas out. Right there. Like so. Lighten them up a little bit. This is almost ready to go in and start adding some deeper darks. Some much deeper darks. You know, deeper darks.
Deeper darks.
Deeper darks.
Deeper darksy. Hey Aaron, sometimes
Hey, how's it going?
I see artists describe their pieces as being watercolor on board or oil on board, etc. What do they mean by board? At first I thought it just meant a wood panel, but I doubt they could watercolor on a wood panel.
No, it's usually like an illustration board. Which is basically, it's basically paper mounted to cardboard. Good quality paper, but it's paper nonetheless. Just mounted to cardboard. So one of the things I'm going to do now, I want to get in and get some really good deep darks. To get some deep darks here.
Great,
So,
it is great.
and I like to use, I don't use black anywhere, but I do use Payne's Gray. And it makes a nice, especially when you mix it with some ultramarine, makes some nice colory. Would you recommend, a YouTube question, what would you recommend to get better at character creation and cartooning? Well, I would look at other people's work, and because there's definitely a process to it. I've got a course on my website on character design. There's a lot of good character design courses out there from other people as well. And then it's practice.
Hello, Aaron.
Hi.
Going to Kenya for a 3-week safari this August. I know you've painted and drawn in the wild, and do you have any advice for capturing the essence of the animal from a Jeep?
Well, it's going to be hard. I've done that. That Jeep has got to be stopped. First of all, we were just in Kenya in October, and but it's really, know your anatomy before going out, and then brush up on it as much as you can, and then just draw fast. You're going for the gesture, So here, I'm just, good watercolor painting is really getting a handle on a couple of different things. It's letting the watercolor do its thing, and so my thing is I try not to fight it. I lay it down, let it be watercolor, and we go from there. And then it's a lot of working in the right temperature and the right value. Value is probably the most important aspect of all of it. Especially when you're trying to paint light. When you're trying to paint light, getting the right value is the most important part of the process.
I see a lot of brushes for sale for Photoshop. Do you offer brushes for Procreate as well?
I do. They are there.
Yeah. Hi, Aaron. Was wondering whether you ended up showing your approach in Corel Painter. You did some really nice drawings and wanted to check them out. Also, I want to buy some of your courses, but was wondering if they get saved onto an account or do I have to download them? Thanks.
It's either way. You can do it either way.
Have you ended up showing an approach on Corel Painter?
I haven't done that yet. No. I used to do a lot of painting in Corel Painter. I haven't done it in a while. So you can see, you know, I try to be very direct and not, you know, not noodle a lot. We're gonna get through this pretty darn close to hold on a second. Sorry, I'm mumbling now because I'm thinking. I'm thinking.
Right, I'm thinking.
I'm thinking. I need this. His eyes are in deep, deep, deep shade. So even though this looks black, it's not quite black. And when I do put the black in, it'll show, his eyes will show through there. So I'm going to get this going. So they're still just laying in flat color here and there. It's coming along though. There.
In the latecomers, how's your dad doing?
Oh, Dad's doing good. He's hanging in there. Okay, so you can see, I'll hold this up so you guys can see it. It's still really loose, right?
Loosey-goosey.
Yeah, very loose. Oh, there he is. Hey, Dad, come here. Come here for a second. Someone was just asking about you. They were just asking online how you were doing. Say hi. Say hi to the world right here. There's the camera. Can you see it? He can't.
Hi.
There he is. Oh, you got to switch camera. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
That's. No, lean in the camera. There you are, right there.
Oh.
He can't see very well, but you guys can see him.
Hi.
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 How you doing?
Just doing a watercolor.
How's it going?
So far, so good. We got the whole world out there watching.
Okay.
What are you doing? What are you doing out there? Just making stuff?
Yep.
Well,
Working on that walkway.
all right. See, my father, in order for him to live here, he has to earn his keep. So here I'm just softening up a few edges.
A lot of people are commenting, hi, hope you're feeling better,
Good.
looking sharp, and loving the hat. And he always wears that hat. He always looks good in it.
Yeah, he's a sharp fellow.
3 generations of Blaise in that room.
True,
When we-
actually, yeah.
Yeah, when I first moved in, it was just the 3 of us under one roof for a while. And what did we call ourselves? The three, the
No. Should I say it?
huh?
It was the House of Dicks and Whiskers.
Well, I was thinking the 3 bachelors.
I know. Sorry, kids. It was the Three Stooges.
Pretty much.
I'm also pulling out some of the lip texture. There we go. Just little things here and there. I want to go back in and get a little bit more color.
Right. Hi. So I said, hi, Marshall. Feel better. My son, also named Marshall, said, what? I'm fine.
Okay, so I'm going to go in here.
And Uncle Travis says, hello, Papa. Tell Dad I saw him online.
Will do.
Have you seen the Mermaids the Body Found special from Discovery Channel?
I hate when they do that stuff. It's so and people think it's real. That's why I think it's irresponsible for them to do that stuff.
Does it make it look like a legit documentary?
Yeah, they try to. There's a lot of people out there that believe it.
In the beginning it says written by.
No, I know.
I know, but nobody notices that.
Twitch question: what is the biggest both Aaron and Dustin have learned in life and would advise your followers? Does not have to start art related. Get lots of exercise. Seriously.
And stay focused on your goal.
And stay thirsty, my friend.
Stay thirsty. Aaron, are you planning on making a background color for this painting, or it's just going to be a white background?
Nope, it's gonna have a background. I'm gonna do it last.
You mean mermaids aren't real?
It's amazing to me how many people buy into it. Of course, people think the world is flat too, so what are you gonna do? All right, so now I'm going to start going in and adding some of these details that are going to start pulling this all together.
Are there any watercolors that you recommend looking at for inspiration?
Anders Zorn.
Anders Zorn?
Yeah, he's known for his oils, but his watercolors are insanely beautiful, especially when he painted water. When he painted watercolors of water. And then Singer, probably my favorite watercolorist was John Singer Sargent. So I'm just hitting little kind of details here and there. I'm still using a flat, but it's a 1/4 inch flat. Do you like to use gouache? Oh, do you ever do a portrait of your dad? Oh, you know what? I did a caricature of him years ago. A good one. I kind of liked it. But you know, I haven't done a portrait of him in a long time. That's a good. Maybe we'll do that as a live stream.
That'd be interesting.
I want to darken this nose a bit.
What are good beginner watercolors?
Winsor Newton has good student grade watercolors. Cotman and Cotman's actually, I think that's a good professional grade as well.
Do you have any books you recommend for learning abstract design? Or maybe this could be a course you teach? For abstract design?
Yeah, you know, geez.
Oh, geez. Oh, man.
What's his name? William Wendt. William Wendt did a book on design composition that is really good. He's a painter, California light painter. That's really amazing. How do you not mess up the drawing while coloring it? I always get the line art just right, but then I start coloring it, it absolutely ruins it. And I'm just keeping it all very controlled. Keeping it all very controlled. And I'm looking a lot at my values, making sure that they're staying clear.
What is your favorite medium to work with?
Probably watercolor and charcoal. So here I'm painting in to get that shadow just a little deeper. There we go. There we go.
Robin Vance says, I remember the first time I used watercolor. My high school art teacher let me take some tubes home to work on a sea turtle painting for my portfolio. But I didn't know how watercolor really worked, so I was treating it like acrylic the whole time. Let's just say we had some thick globs of paint layers and not much water.
That's okay. You're experimenting. That's all right, man. That's all right.
That's okay.
All right. So, dry that. Now, I'm going to go in with my brush here. Get some more of that.
Oh, it's Chelsea Henry's birthday today? Happy birthday!
Who?
Chelsea. She was she was one of the students that attended at the at the Orlando.
Yeah.
It's her birthday.
Right on. Okay, so here we go. Oops. Actually. There we go.
It would be cool if we could download the live streams from your website. Could you make that possible?
You can watch them on YouTube. You know, they're always there. I want to make sure I'm getting this color nice and rich.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey,
how's it going? With so much amazing content online now, do you think it will have a big impact on art schools in years to come?
Yes. And I think everything we're going through with the coronavirus is going to impact how schools teach in years to come. I think the way we're doing it now online is the wave of the future. I really do.
What is your dream guitar?
I don't know. I don't know guitars well enough to have a dream guitar. I love to play. There. Let me dry that up. All right, I'm going to start kind of towards the top, and we're going to work our way down.
Work the way down.
Down, down.
Down. Watching you create reminds me of when I was little and I would watch my uncle draw or paint. I loved watching an image appear out of thin air. You both have such crazy talent, and you have a similar vibe to him, and also Bob Ross. It's very cozy and familiar. Thank you as always.
You are welcome. So I don't know if you can see the value change here. You probably can't, so probably a little hard to see. But the eye is kind of coming out now. There we go. This is all going to start coming together really fast now.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going, E?
I'm looking at your live animation course on April 11th, but can't seem to see at what time it is starting.
It starts at 11 a.m. Eastern Time.
11. When you had long hair, did you ever think of getting dreadlocks?
No, my wife at the time, Karen, she had dreads, and she had really beautiful ones, and she worked at keeping them really nice, like every day. And I realized, no, that's just too much work. Dustin tried to do it. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
It didn't work out too good.
No. It was a good start, but it just, it got flattened and greasy and...
Nasty.
Ugh. Yeah, I couldn't take care of them well enough. Are you a good singer?
No. I think I could carry a tune at one time, but I'm not anymore. So this is the fun part, getting the markings in.
How can you control your brush with the huge hand that you have?
My hands aren't that big. There we go.
Did you ever help your kids with their school art projects or give them any art lessons? How did that go? Would love to hear from both of you.
You guys weren't really interested in it. I always wanted to. I did give some art lessons to Austin and Dustin a couple times, but yeah, you
But
guys.
we even
You guys weren't
asked
ever.
for you. We even asked for you to come to our art classes to do small lectures.
Oh, I did that. But no, we're talking about Yeah, I did go to the art classes. Yeah, and I talked to your fellow students and whatnot.
I did try to use some of the techniques you taught me. I just couldn't get the knack of it.
Oh no, that's all right. Yeah, I just it didn't have to be your thing either. I don't know that it was your thing.
I think the photography thing is now.
Oh yeah, you think?
You think? Well, no turd.
So here I'm just being very loose, getting some of these other markings in.
Do you remember the singer Billy Ocean? You should see his hair.
Oh yeah. What? That was random.
That was random.
What about Billy Ocean and his hair?
Oh, just how crazy it is. I mean, I think we were talking about our hair before, but is that color black?
Have you ever followed a Bob Ross tutorial? No, I never have. What'd you say?
I was asking, is that color black?
No.
Every time I see a color similar to black, I think it can't be right. Aaron doesn't use black.
I don't use black. It's ultramarine and Payne's gray. Tommy on YouTube asks, do you have any recommendations for masking fluid? You know, they're all pretty much the same. So, you know, it's all basically liquid latex that you lay down, and so it's all basically the same stuff. Doggone it. But the only thing is when you use masking tape, use artist tape, because masking tape will tear your paper if you're not careful.
If you could become highly skilled on any art form, visual or performing, what would it be?
I've always wanted to be just a great guitar player. I've just never put in the practice.
I mean, you are a good guitar player now.
No, great. You know, great.
Great.
Like Stevie Ray?
Like Stevie Ray. Yes.
What's the strangest thing you've been asked to draw so far?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. I did a lot of pattern drawings to get myself through school. But I don't. Yeah, it's a hard. That's a good question. I don't know.
Oh, Tom. Oh, the
I've never really had to paint anything really strange.
I know one.
the mention of Billy Ocean earlier was because we're talking about the dreadlocks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Why don't you use black for your painting?
Because it's a dead color. It's just kind of a dead color. Now, black is good to use mixing with other colors to tone them down and darken them into for things, but if it's true black where it's not a warm or a cool, it's just kind of a neutral black, it really grays the colors.
I would love to see you do a Bob Ross tutorial. Alright kids, we're gonna learn how to draw like Bob Ross. We'll make a couple of happy trees here. Dustin, have you watched the quarantine videos of Arnold? I've seen a few of them. And recently I saw the one of him driving his what looked like a old World War II truck around his backyard. He stops and he grabs this giant I forget the type of weight it is. I'm not good
Dumbbell?
at, huh?
Is
A
it?
barbell, and starts lifting weights as he's How many years have you been doing this?
Painting? I've been painting all my life.
And I think
I'm 52.
and if you're
years
asking
old.
about the online stuff, like the courses and everything, probably for you
Oh, it's 5, 6 years?
6 years, and then the live streams I think we started 2-3 years ago.
Yeah,
Can't believe we've been streaming for that long.
I know. So what's cool is when you start getting the dark values in, this is where the painting really starts to come together.
We missed the beginning. What surface are you painting on? Do you like Frederick's smooth watercolor boards?
No, I don't like smooth. I like rough, and I'm painting on cold press. Here, I'll show you. Arches cold press. Right there.
Aaron, have you watched Tiger King yet on Netflix? If not, you totally should.
Oh, yes, I have. Oh, yes.
That should be a live stream. Aaron following a Bob Ross tutorial, and the follow-up will be Aaron's own approach to paint a Bob Ross style landscape.
It'd be fun. I love Bob Ross. Love him, I tell you.
Love him, I tell you, I love him. Aaron, I would love to read a comic drawn by you. Would you draw one?
Yeah, let me just whip that out this weekend. I'd love to do one, yes. But I don't know when I could.
I think it should be just like just those simple comic strips that you see on the newspapers.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's like simple 4 or 5 frames,
Uh-huh.
but it'll be scenes based on our conversation sometimes.
All right, here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Got to get in here. Got to get these whiskers right.
What's the one thing you were terrible at in school? I sucked at math and still do.
I was actually a pretty good student. We were talking about this the other night. I was actually a pretty good student. I just I just didn't pay attention a lot because I was drawing, or I was 17 years old, thought I knew it all, and didn't think I don't need this class. So therefore I wouldn't listen, wouldn't participate.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, I think my worst was history, because I didn't really, mainly because I didn't do homework a whole lot, unfortunately. But
you're awesome at history.
yeah, but because I didn't do the homework, I failed it so bad. But what was funny was, I would do really bad during majority of the year, but that one time of the year when the subject of World War II comes up,
Yeah.
my grade skyrockets. And then once that is over, going to the next subject, it goes back down again.
Yeah.
Just goes to show what kind of history I enjoy or I'm fascinated with.
Hello, fellow lefty. How do you keep your hand from smudging everything? Yeah, well, sometimes it does.
Practice.
Yeah.
And even then, some of the best make mistakes. Or even the best make mistakes. What's the difference between cold press and hot press paper?
Hot press is smooth. Cold press is rough. And I like cold press because it the pigment kind of bleeds a little better. Twitch question: what are your thoughts on people who say that the artists need to learn traditional art before digital art? I disagree greatly because the processes for digital and traditional are completely different. Well, they are, but not the thinking isn't different. That's the thing. The thinking is not different. And so I don't think one should learn one over the other, but I do think people should learn both. Because I truly, truly believe that they inform one another. My traditional work grew once I started working digitally. And my digital work, I think, was stronger because of my knowledge working traditionally.
And Debbie Caldron is asking, do you recall the name of William Wendt's book? I couldn't find it on Google. Thank you.
I can't remember the name of it, but I'll try to find it. Ronnie Williford. I know Ronnie Williford knows, and Trey Finney, he knows the book. I think Trey Finney has it. I'll give Trey Finney a call. My good friend Trey Finney. All right, we're slowly getting there, aren't we?
Slowly but surely.
Don't call me Shirley.
Yes, I just discovered the book Unbroken. I'm reading it currently. Have you read it? No, I don't really read a whole bunch
I've got
of
the
novels.
book Unbroken if you ever want to read it.
Alright.
It's really good.
I don't really read a whole bunch of novels.
Well, Unbroken's a biography. It's true.
Ah,
True story. It's really good.
true story.
True story. Oh gosh, I'm trying to get these textures in here. See how it's starting to come together now? Kind of.
It's all coming together.
How long have we been at this?
It is 2:30.
Oh, so we've only been at it an hour and a half. Okay, that's good.
All of this for an hour and a half. Holy moly. I'm sure we still got quite a bit to do.
Oh, not too bad.
Not sure if this question has been asked yet, but if not, will you be doing a video like this on acrylics?
Yes, I do plan on doing a whole acrylics course. I just haven't gotten to it yet. My next course is going to be on birds of prey. Drawing birds of prey.
Christopher Benson says, I gotta go, guys. Aaron,
See-
thanks for your generosity with the sale, and stay safe, all.
See you later.
See ya. Stay safe. What?
Hold on. Is your palette plastic or ceramic?
What are some of the most inspirational memories, places, or experiences that you draw on to do your... Do you have a natural or artificial light now?
Mine has both natural and... Well, right now I'm using artificial lighting, but it's got balanced. Very good balanced light. There we go. We're getting there slowly.
Kind of a random question, but would you be okay if someone like me had one of your art pieces tattooed at some point?
Sure, go for it. If you like that artwork that much, go for it.
Can you imagine if somebody, like, if you end up meeting somebody that has, like, a portrait of your face on their shoulder?
I don't think that's going to happen.
Do you use a limit color palette?
Not really. The Zorn color palette is a lot of fun to try to use, but I don't usually limit myself too much. The key to all of this, once again, is making sure that you're just staying really, keeping your values clean, keeping your colors clean, temperature, all of that. There. What's so funny?
Oh, just somebody says, sorry, I love Aaron's work, but I don't want his face tattooed on me.
That's good.
It's good. It's good.
Twitch question. Hey, Aaron, I just wanted to open with saying that you're definitely one of my favorite art heroes. Thank you. I have kind of a two-part question. One, what story writing tips do you have for drawing inspiration from pre-existing stories without outright copying? Ah, that's interesting. And what books do you recommend to help learn better story writing? Let's start with the second one. There's a couple of really good ones out there. There's one called Save the Cat. And another one by Save the Cat is by caught me off guard, I can't remember. And then Story. It's just called Story. And Nick will hook you up with, you want to make sure you're not plagiarizing. So if you can get permission from the writer, then that's great. Which is something we were always conscious of if we decided that we wanted to use a pre-existing story. There's one that I was working on called King of the Elves that was written by Philip K. Dick, who wrote Total Recall and Minority Report and a few other things. It's getting a little dark in there. There we go. That's better. Look at that.
Look at that beauty.
Yeah, so I'm starting to mumble, sorry, because I was getting into these.
Mumble.
So yeah, we draw inspiration from everything, all over the place. You really you got to be honest with yourself and look at what it is that you're doing, and say, okay, am I copying this now at this point, or am I just being inspired? And sometimes it's a tough call. But we really are. I mean, we're inspired all the time by things around us. And you just got to be careful that inspiration doesn't turn into plagiarism.
Are watercolors forgiving? Unlike digital painting, where you can easily go back to fix a mistake, can you easily cover up a large mistake with watercolor, or do you have to start from scratch?
Generally, you start from scratch, but there's ways of fixing a watercolor and kind of rolling with it. But you don't. With watercolor, there's a lot of planning involved. You know, I was very meticulous in the way that I approached this painting. And you can see I'm being kind of loose with it right now at this point too.
Why don't you lighten your painting from the right if you are left-handed? I'm totally disturbed by your forearm drop shadow. Thanks for sharing. Way better than Netflix.
Well, I'm working my way over.
What will happen to today's painting? Do you keep it or are you going to sell it?
No, we burn it. I'm burning it tonight.
Burning it.
We'll probably sell it. If anyone wants to, maybe I hate selling stuff, putting a big price on stuff right now, especially during these times.
Seeing
Alright.
as you're such a veteran when it comes to contract work, if you wanted to contribute to a project such as a Klaus sequel, do you tend to get headhunted, or do you like to approach directors when you like what they're doing?
I don't get headhunted as much as you think I do. I have had a lot of offers over the last several years. You know, I've turned down 9 different movies to direct for whatever reason. But I don't get pursued as much as some people think I do. That being said, something like Klaus, you know, I would, if I had the opportunity to do something like that, I would definitely jump on it.
Somebody suggests for the painting maybe a raffle.
Oh, there you go. That's an interesting idea.
And Marburger says that Manny would buy this painting for $100.
What's that?
Martin Berger says that Manny would buy this painting for $100.
Yes, he would. $100.
$100.
We're almost there, Nick.
Nick, Birch. Aaron, what do you think of the Korean artist Kim Jong-ji?
I love him. He's not human. The guy is insanely good.
Is he the one that you freaked out about that was at the
Yeah, and
CTN?
I've been in shows with him too, but I get around him and I just get nervous. The guy is insanely good, and he's a big hero of mine.
Will we be able to ask questions at the event next Saturday for the animation?
Yes,
seminar?
but it's not going to be guaranteed that everyone will get to ask questions because it's, you know, we're keeping it open to a lot of people, and so that's one of the reasons we decided to do it so cheap, is we wanted, you know, a lot of people to be able to watch. That being said, we'll probably be able to have some, you know, a few questions in there, yeah, but it's going to be a lot of lecture-based talking.
Dustin, would it be possible to share your great photos so myself and others can also use it for reference to paint? Well, we actually have a couple of reference photo packs on the way, and whoops, I actually hit that there. We've got a couple of photos on photo packs on the way. You have a couple of wildlife creatures. We just are making some final details on them, and yeah. And the wildlife packs will consist of sandhill cranes, great blue herons, river otters, and songbirds, which is 50-50 of palm warblers and Savannah sparrows. And yeah, then we'll have then there will be more to come in the future. So stay tuned for those.
Okay, here we go.
And Tiffy says, I came into this late, but did he say the colors he was using?
I'm using, hold on a second, ultramarine and Payne's gray, cadmium orange.
What,
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not going to be able to answer questions for just a second.
Focus mode engaged.
Yes. This is where he's going to pop right off the screen.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit. Sorry, folks, I gotta do this. I'm using my big flat 1-inch. And I'm really loading it with a lot of pigment, so I don't have to keep going over this. And I'll throw different colors in, so I'll get variations. There. He's really going to pop off the page now. There we go. Yeah, don't be afraid to really load that brush.
Go to flow.
Go ahead, Dustin. Sorry.
All right. What constructive criticism did you have of Klaus, if any?
Oh, none. I just thought it was incredible. Robert McKee. Sorry. Yeah, thanks, Nick. Robert McKee was the author for the book Story. Oh, my brother Travis just put out a bouncing ball tutorial on his YouTube channel as well. I forgot to say, forgot about that. Sorry, Trav. Search Travis Blaise or Sketch to Animate. It's he's got a really great YouTube channel that he's got rolling, and I really, really recommend it. It's awesome. So I read a book called Character Mentor by a man named Tom Bancroft, and it was amazing. And I was wondering, do you know him since he worked at Disney too? Tom and I are very good friends, actually. We've known each other for 30 years. So, pretty much done except for the whiskers. I got to get those whiskers in, and that's going to be That's going to be opaque. What are you looking for? My gouache. My gouache paint is in my little backpack. Where you know where that little backpack is? Sorry.
I guess I'll be entertaining for the current moment. So, hi. How's it going, everybody? You guys have any questions? I had the Facebook question right here, but Nick, I can't quite see anything over there, so I'm just going to focus on the Facebook stuff. Or at least, nope, never mind. Here he is. Thank God.
Sorry, I needed to get my gouache. Here's my gouache. Because I want to put. Wow, I think I had some blue paint explode in there. I'm going to get another palette. Open this baby up. There we go. All right.
By the way, what pizza?
Oh gosh. It's just like blue paint's exploded all over the place in there. See, where's my white? I need my white. Zinc white.
Zinc white.
Yeah. And these have all got to I got to wash all these. There we go.
Dustin, what's your favorite bird to photograph? I would say recently has been the red-winged blackbird. Although the ones I like as far as the big birds go have been like the great blue herons and the sandhill cranes.
All right. Oh, it's still a little bit wet. Sorry.
Yeah, what kind of pizza do you prefer? Strawberry pizza or pineapple pizza?
Strawberry or pineapple?
Strawberry or pineapple?
I'm not even answering that question.
Which one would you rather have? I mean, I'd rather go for the pineapple if I had the choice.
You know what, actually, I'm going to do real quick before I do this gouache. You don't, do you? I could just see where I could go a little deeper with some of the shadow colors.
Do you wash your palettes regularly, or do you leave them for a bit?
I leave them.
Guilty of leaving mine too long. You leave yours?
Definitely.
How do you choose your background for your drawings?
In this case, I just wanted something dark so he can pop off of it. There. That's a little better. Just a little better. All right, we're almost there, folks. Almost there.
I've seen some artists start with the background and others finish with it. Will this be based on the medium you're using? What are your thoughts?
Say that again?
I have some. I've seen some artists start with the background and others finish with it. Would this be based on the medium you're using?
Yeah, a lot of times. But it's also preferable for the artist. That's what it comes down to, really. All right, there we go. Now we're ready to do a little bit of...
And Kendra Wilford is asking, do you have plans to do another group masterclass after COVID-19 stops rearing its ugly head?
Yes. We're gonna do those. We're gonna do them as often as we can.
What would you use if you wanted dust particles in the scene? Acrylic?
Yeah, or gouache. So here I'm using the gouache fairly thick. The go-go.
What are your favorite quarantine recipes?
I've been making a lot of stuff. What did I make the other night that was really good?
Michigan sauce.
Oh yeah, Michigan sauce. That came out really good. It's like a beanless chili.
Sausage stuffed acorn squash.
Oh, I did sausage stuffed acorn squash.
Ooh.
The other night, which came out. It came out quite nice.
Yeah, great nice.
Yes.
Sounds quite interesting here, but
So got some hairs there. Yeah, I did a sausage and cranberry and pine nut and walnut stuffed acorn squash. It really I was quite pleased with myself. All right. There we go. There's our finishing touches. Maybe a couple little bits of fur out here.
do you use frisket or masking fluid during your watercolor?
Sometimes I do. Usually I try to keep it more traditional. Today we did not use that. We just went ahead and dove in.
Just went straight for it.
Yeah, straight for it. Now, I am terrible at signing my name with a paintbrush, so I'm not going to.
Just gonna sign with a pencil?
Yeah.
Or pen?
Pencil.
Pencil?
A pencil. Where did my pencil go?
Somewhere?
Somewhere.
Well, how about using one of these pens here?
Nah. Yeah, pencil. Where'd my
Don't
pencil
want
go?
to use a pen?
No.
And to the right. It's on the screen.
Huh?
Right under the napkin on the right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there it is. Blending in. Thanks.
It was almost like one of those child shows. Can you find the... Where's the window?
So there it is. There's our tiger.
Rawr.
Painted, and how long did it take? How many?
It took... It's currently 2:57, so about...
Okay.
Just around 2 hours.
Oh, that's not bad. What would you recommend to get better at? Oh, we already did that one. Oh, so all the choppiness went away, so it must have been our signal. Yeah, I think you're right, Nick. So anyway, so there is, an example of painting in watercolor. You can do fairly quickly, and you can, you can get a pretty decent painting done by just being really direct with it, which is what, that's what I did here today. And if you don't noodle it, just get in there and paint, and let the watercolor do what it's supposed to do. You can create some pretty cool paintings rather quickly. So get out there. Well, don't get out there because we're all quarantined. But do some painting.
Will this be up afterwards? I'm thinking of the live stream.
Yes, the live stream will be coming up. Hold on, I'm trying to get some nice color underneath. There we go. We will be up and running. The live stream will be up and running. This will be up probably in about an hour. It's got to buffer and do all that stuff or whatever. Not buffer, but whatever when it loads up. So, but this was fun. I really enjoyed doing this with you guys. I think the color is a little. Is it a little funky? How's it look on the screen?
Looks good.
But
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was that's watercolor, and we'll do some more traditional stuff coming up. Remember, I have got maybe it doesn't look better on that camera. So there he is. You can see the texture if I hold the light to the light.
It looks a bit warmer.
Yeah. So, but you see, it's a pretty decent size. And, you can get something done quick. You know, it's kind of fun. But keep in mind, April 11th at 11 a.m. I'm doing a live event right here, and we're going to be talking about animation. I'm going to talk about it for 6 hours. It's an introduction to animation. So if you're already a kind of, adept at animation, then this might not be the thing for you. But if you're looking for a back to basics, or if you're just starting to get into it and you want to learn timing and all that kind of stuff, then this is the class for you. And I'm going to be doing that April 11th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be talking about the bouncing ball, which talks about squash and stretch and timing and all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to talk about the flour sack, which takes everything from the bouncing ball and applies it to basically creating a character. And the flour sack is that character. It's about body attitude and posture and gesture and all that kind of stuff. And so we're going to do that, and then we're going to get into dialogue, and we're going to get Dustin to do some dialogue for us.
Sure, why not?
Oh, it's funny. Did you notice you probably didn't see it, that I was going through Facebook this morning and I found this awesome Daffy Duck cartoon. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I got to show this to Dustin. So I tagged you, and then I scrolled up and it was like, oh, it was Dustin. That was Dustin that posted it. And so there's that. And then once again, remember, we've got a ton of stuff that we have reduced down to $1. My introduction to animation is absolutely free now. I want people learning. I want people drawing. I want people creating beauty and putting it back into the world. So we're going to make it easy for you guys to do that. So go on over to creatureartteacher.com. First of all, go over to creatureartteacher.com/live, and that'll give you the information for the live event, for the animation event I'm going to be doing in April. And then also just go to the website in general, and you're going to see all kinds of really cool deals that we've got. And we're just going to keep running it until everyone gets back to work. But until then, we want you guys learning and making pretty pictures and making great animation. All right? So I hope you guys had a good time today. I certainly had fun. Hey, I got a new painting out of it, so that was kind of cool.
Nice.
And I will talk to you on Tuesday. Remember, we have another live stream on Tuesday. That one's at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we can get some of our friends in Asia to hang out and participate with us. So I'll see you then. If not, I'll see you again here on Friday. So I hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe. Listen to what the doctors are saying, all of that. Let's try to get through this as quickly as possible. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week creating some art, putting some beauty back into the world. I will talk to you next week. Dustin?
Thank you guys so much for watching. Glad you guys enjoyed this stream. And if you guys are interested in some wildlife, specifically some wildlife photography, you can check out my Instagram if you have not checked that out already, which is on my Instagram at Dustin_Blaise. Again, that's Dustin_Blaise. And I do a bunch of wildlife photography, and I post a new photo daily. And I'm doing the best I can with all that. And so I don't know if I'll be over during the live streams next week, because I might be having a guest coming into town, so need to keep my guests entertained. But
I get to fill in.
maybe we'll see what happens. But so we'll see what happens. But might see you next week. If not, I'll see you soon. And until next time, Cowboy Bebop. See you guys.